Welcome to Crossroads, where we do killer songs on Sunday morning. Don't you love it? Man, we don't apologize. God is good and he can redeem anything, especially a song like that. You know what is awesome is when I heard that song, I thought, man, this so sometimes fits me. Is sometimes, you know what, I'm in, but I'm not in all the way. And I'm kind of sitting on the back burner waiting for something to happen, and I don't jump in. And really, God is calling us to something bigger, something greater, something awesome. Do I care enough to get in the battle? Do I? I mean, do I really? Because let's be honest. I mean, it's easy to come to church on Sunday. And man, we're glad you're here because we have an awesome time. And it's easy to come and be a part and think we're a part when we just sit here. But what we don't realize is God has called us to so much more than just showing up. That he's called us to be soldiers of him. That he's called us to step out and be a part of the greatest calling of mankind ever. And you have been set apart for that purpose. I have been set apart for that purpose. And so do I sit on the sidelines and watch, or do I do something? You know, church is a team sport. It really is. Church isn't just about what we do right now, right here on Sunday morning, but there's a whole lot of things that go on. And God is calling you to be a part of that team. God is calling you to do something with the life that you have, the breath that you have, and the things that he's given you. You know, as I was thinking over, you know, this whole idea of, you know what, I want to challenge everyone. I want to challenge myself to step out, to say, you know what, I want to serve God with everything. I go, well, what is it that keeps us from serving? What are the things that cause us not to step out, or just to watch, or just to not really to participate? And it brought me back to my fourth grade, fifth grade year in elementary school. And I remember, you know, my friends got picked to make the teams for basketball. And you know how that goes in PE. Your friends get picked and you think, oh, they'll pick me. And I remember they picked me, or they got picked, and so their job was to pick the teams. And so they'd go through the whole PE class, and, you know, you're with me, da-da-da. And I'm looking over, and my friend got called up, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, oh, he's going to pick me first, right? And so he goes through and he starts picking people, and he didn't pick me. And I'm waiting, and he picks all the girls. And he's picking all these different, and then at the end, finally, here I'm with this other guy, and he's, oh, I'll take Bill. So at that moment, I don't know, come on, a little awe or something, like, oh, God. Oh. At that moment, though, have you ever been in that place where you felt like, well, they just don't need me? You know, everybody else got picked, and I'm just kind of sitting in the back, and, you know, I'll just, you know, maybe show up. Maybe you feel that way about church. Maybe you look and you go, man, this place is so big, I'm sure they don't need me, when the reality is we need you. We need you because God has called you to something greater. We need you to be what God has called you to be, and we're going to talk about what that is in a minute. And so I think those past injuries stop us from stepping out. Maybe we've been hurt, or maybe there's things in our past, or maybe we think, well, I can't be used, or maybe we even think, well, the things I've done in my past, the things that I've been hurt by, you know, there's no way God would want to use me. So I'll just sit back, I'll come to church, and I'll sit, and I'll watch what happens, and I'll live vicariously through the incredible stories that people tell, not realizing, guys, that God has that plan for you. That he wants to have those incredible stories in your life. That's why we're doing 24/7. By doing, you'll understand. By knowing, by stepping out and saying, I'm going to do this. I want to serve him with everything that's in me, no matter what it costs, because he's called me to something great, something amazing, something that's beyond me. And so it's time. It's time, guys, to get in the game. It's time to put the pads on. It's time to put the jersey on. It's time to get out on the field and stop sitting in the sidelines saying, hey, go team, while you go home and everybody else plays the game. Because it's time for us to do that. That's why we're doing this series called Jubilee. It's the idea of being set free. Set free for what? Set free to serve him freely. Set free to say, you know what, I'm going to make a difference. You know, the year of Jubilee was 50 years, and after that 50 years, all things were forgiven, all debt, everything. And then it was time. It was forgiven for a purpose, not so we could just go, oh, hey, we're forgiven. Cool, let's go out and sin some more. Let's go out and not do anything with what we've been forgiven. We were forgiven for a reason and a purpose to go and change the world and change our lives. So it's a time of letting go. It's a time of setting things straight. Really, from here on out, I'd just like you to think about this as we're talking right now. Just to say, you know what? I'm going to forget about some things in my past right now. If God has called me to something great, then you know, right here, right now, in this moment where we're here together, let's make it new. Let's make it fresh. Let's see what God does. And just move forward without moving back. Because that's what I believe he's called us to, a time of refreshing and renewing. So I'm hoping this morning you're challenged. I'm hoping this morning that you want to step up and do what God has called you and created you to do. Now turn over to Philippians with me.